Land of the Goat Witchcraft in the Pyrenees by Júlia Carerras-Tort. This is a new publication by Three Hands Press, and true to form with Three Hands Press, it is a work of tremendous scholarship. It's very well researched and really a joy to read. Very, very well written by Júlia Carerras-Tort, who is really sharing something that she clearly feels very closely connected to. A real joy to read this, in fact. She decided to focus specifically on the Pyrenees, which is the range of mountains that is on the border between France and Spain, so at the north of Spain, the south of France. And in that place, the witch is called the Bruxa, B-R-U-X-A, or sometimes B-R-U-I-X-A, very close to bruja, which is probably more, how to say, more familiar, right? The Spanish bruja, simply the Spanish word for witch. The introduction is fascinating, gives us a little bit of an idea of why Júlia chose to focus on the Pyrenean bruxa. But then we get started in earnest with the investigation itself, right? And it happens in 4 chapters. First of all, the history of the primordial witch. And this is a fantastic chapter that goes into really the history of the witch in general, sure, but very specifically the witch in the Pyrenees. And I found it very interesting to find that the witch was originally not a human performing magic, but actually a supernatural being. And it's only later that the term started being used for humans performing magic. So it goes into the witch the witch trials, and and then what happened after the witch craze, and then bruxaria today. Then the second chapter is this, again, really engagingly written, well-informed chapter on the Pyrenean devil and the distinctions, naturally, between the devil as the devil is considered throughout Christianity and in various forms of Christianity, and the devil as it is approached. She uses the pronoun it for the devil to emphasize its non-humanity, which I thought was quite clever, maybe. I certainly appreciated it. And then, so how is the devil approached by the bruxa of the Pyrenees, and so on, and how is considered, and so on. And then we go on to learning a little bit about the spiritual connections of the land itself. And I think this is probably the core, the real heart of the book, because in describing the land, the author is really giving us an insight into the true nature of the local witchcraft. Now, is this a book for practitioners wanting to find out about how to perform traditional spells? No. In fact, I'd say that there are 1 or 2 rituals vaguely described, but it's not really a grimoire, right? It's not an introduction to traditional witchcraft or anything like that. It is a survey of, very specifically, the witchcraft of the Pyrenees, and a very competent one at that. Now, is it of no use to the witch trying to get in touch with a traditional current? Quite on the contrary, I would say that because the context of the witchcraft is so carefully explored and shared so in such an evocative way, I would say that no, on the contrary, you would be very well served reading this book and getting an idea of why the local witchcraft appeared in the way it did, right? So then finally, chapter 4 is the Ahunt de Bruches, and that is the Sabbat, right there, Ahunt. I guess the J is pronounced H, but I may be wrong. It's Catalan after all. So that is the Sabbat itself. And so once again, there are descriptions of the Sabbath and explanations for the various aspects of that Sabbath or Sabbath, and it's all just really fascinating, and of course sheds a light on modern witchcraft practices and gives you maybe an idea of where some of that came from. And then a really comprehensive bibliography and an index, a useful index. So there we go. I believe the book is also available as a hardcover. That may be sold out already, but I will leave links down in the description of where you can pick Land of the Goat, Witchcraft in the Pyrenees up down in the description, so you can just take a look down there and click on there. I really enjoyed reading this. I don't always enjoy reading just straight up historical scholarship, right? On regardless of how interesting the topic may be, but Julia's style is so engaging. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So there we go. As you saw, as I was flicking through the illustrations, there aren't that many. They just starting the 4 chapters mostly, right? But there are a couple of little illustrations in between. Yeah, the paper is very nice, thick paper stock. Am I going to be able to focus in a little bit there? It's reasonably nice, right? That cover, you can see it scratches just very easily. This arrived this way, right? It was just from being transported in a box, and of course these books will be stored next to other books, and any kind of friction is going to cause these blemishes on the cover. Luckily, it only really shows up when you shine a light onto it. In a reasonably dark room, it doesn't show up so much. But of course, the hardcover will naturally come with a dust jacket. That is, if it's not already out of print. There we go, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and yeah, leave a comment. What do you think of these kinds of scholarly books? Do you own any of your own? Let me come out of that macro lens. Do you have any that you might recommend? Yeah, there we go, folks. Yeah, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I will see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.